How in bed is China with Mark Carney? Number one. Number two, the NDP are so poor that their rallies are being held in parking lots. I feel like the PPC are at the point where I don't know if I'm talking to someone in the PPC or the left. And then we're going to talk about what Pierre Poilievre is bringing to the table and why I approve of Pierre Poilievre. So welcome back to the Freedom Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie A.B. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm here every day with your election coverage and talking about what the media won't, or making commentary on what the media is reporting, talking to you about what I see from TikTok to X to everything in between. So if that interests you, and I'm going to be live election night in Ottawa, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps the channel get out there because I am definitely censored by our government. So let's get into it. First of all, I am reading Mark Carney's book right now, and I am listening to it because it's the most boring book. I would never be able to read it. Full disclosure, I have ADHD. I was diagnosed when I was a teenager, so I was literally one of the only girls at the time being diagnosed. So I am not one of those TikTok diagnose myself ADHD. It is a legitimate diagnosis. But that's besides the point. Can someone tell me how this man is this evil? Can someone tell me how Mark Carney is this evil? Because this book it made me throw up. You guys, he said that we are the disposable class. And what are we good for in Mark Carney's eyes when it comes to his view on life? Because he ain't no Catholic. He ain't no Christian. He literally is somebody who thinks that he is above everybody because he is an elite. I am not kidding you. He refers to us as a disposable class. Okay, we're the disposable class who is actually good. He's quoting somebody, but he doesn't disagree with this quote. He's quoting it because that's what he thinks we are. A disposable class who is only good for keeping law up, like within the disposable class. There's got to be some of us who, will police everybody. And then, fight their wars. That's what we're good for in Mark Carney's eyes. I have never, ever in my life heard somebody refer to people quite like he refers to us. He genuinely looks at us like we are subhuman. I am not kidding you. This book, he's a Marxist. A couple of weeks ago, I said, I don't know how to, on my TikTok, I don't know how to get past corruption that predates the Industrial Revolution. And what does he confirm in this? That there are people who have had influence on our policies and stuff since pre-Industrial Revolution. I don't like being right about certain things, and that's one of them. Let's listen to this part of the audiobook.
Adam Smith, David Ricardo, and Karl Marx. Quenet's depiction of the economy was comprehensive, but his view of what constituted productive activities was exceptionally narrow. His contemporary, A.R.J. Turgot, saw wealth as coming solely from land, but saw usefulness in artisans who prepared the materials produced by cultivators. Landowners remained a disposable class who merely collected rents. Landowners remained a disposable class who merely collected rents, though Turgot acknowledged that members of the disposable class may offer services such as the administration of justice or assisting in war efforts that respond to the general need.
Okay. When he read that, when I heard him say that, I literally physically felt ill. Okay? I physically felt ill because what do you mean? I digress. I am at the point where I would like to admit that when Trudeau prorogued the government, I knew that was our worst case scenario. The best case scenario that we could have had was Jagmeet Singh put through the non-confidence bill, and they had an election in December, and that was that. Instead, we have issues, tariffs and stuff like that. But yes, let's close Parliament for 3 months. I knew as soon as Trudeau said that it was prorogued, I wanted him to call an election. I didn't want him to quit or step down. I wasn't even that happy. I was happy for like a split second. And then I was like, crap. Because I know, once again, that you could think something is bad and then something can come in and be significantly worse. This is significantly worse. This is significantly worse. Mark Carney is significantly worse than even Trudeau. That's an admission. I am a shirt-carrying member of the anti-Trudeau social club. I hate Trudeau, and I still think that he's better than Mark Carney. That's not something I thought I would say. This is almost sad to watch Jagmeet Singh be in a parking lot for a campaign rally. It's giving Leslie Knope after her scandal with Ben. What is this?
Wow, okay, this is an awesome way to kick off our regional office. It's amazing to see so many amazing faces here. First and foremost, I just want you to know what sets us apart from the other parties, what makes us who we are as New Democrats, is that we believe fundamentally that we are all better off when we take care of each other, when we look out for one another.
Well, you weren't really looking out for Canadians. You were looking out for yourself when you kept putting off having an election that would actually probably give you more seats. There was a time where NDP was ahead of the Liberals in the polls. And like I said, if he called an election in December like he knew Canadians wanted, how did I know? Because there was multiple people at his office telling him that they wanted an election. And what did he do? He kept Justin Trudeau in power. So those words fall short when we've watched you not care about us for the last however many years since you've been in a coalition. Where's our grocery prices being smaller? Honestly, Jagmeet, nobody believes you. You could have had a new leader, and perhaps people, I genuinely think everybody would, and who is youthful and wants to vote left and ABC, anything but conservative. Oh my gosh. I digress. If that's you and I both know that you would probably rather vote for a new NDP candidate than the billionaire banker that you would have been cheering on if Luigi Mangione pulled a Luigi Mangione on him. I'm just saying. Because now you guys have to, live in cognitive dissonance as to why it's okay that you guys are okay with voting for a trillionaire at this point. Yeah, because that's what Brookfield is worth. The numbers that I'm hearing are over in the trillions. So, and not only that, they haven't paid any taxes. The CRA is going after people like me who they locked in their homes once again and then forced us to take money that we thought we were taking because we paid into a program. And then now they make us pay it back. But, the Liberals are allowed to lose trillions of our dollars and it goes unaccounted for. Okay, gotcha. Not only that, the fact that they can look away from China wanting the head of a conservative candidate. What kind of backwards ass? You guys know that we have Chinese police stations, right? Like our Liberal government has allowed Chinese police stations to actively be monitoring Chinese people. I don't even like talking about this because I am so scared of the CCP. But yeah, I don't know how in bed China can be with Mark Carney before the left stops their cognitive dissonance and actually disagrees. You have time to get even Chrystia Freeland in there and it would look better than Mark Carney. Okay, I am not joking you. Mark Carney's not a good pick, you guys. And I hope that the Conservatives find my soundbite of him saying that we are disposable and only good to continue laws and fight their wars. But I don't know. There's some left-leaning people who genuinely think that we should become China. That's how genuinely scary it is to be in Canada, because some people are so brainwashed that they genuinely think that living in China is better than living in the West. You guys can't make this stuff up. Until they got the app and they weren't allowed to talk about gay things, they genuinely thought that living in China was the better option. So, okay. But I got attacked by the bots on the weekend again, and I'm going to answer some of the questions that they have for me. And one of them is, what policies do you even support up here, Poilievre? So, here we go. So since I have been calling out the NDP and their corruption online 3 years ago when I was stolen from, I have had a plethora of hate come my way. Now, there will be a day where this is uncovered and I am proven correct. But I mean, we're already starting to figure out that it is correct, that they are using these bots to combat mis and disinformation. And I know that you're probably thinking, what is a bot? Well, it's like this bot farm that they hire people to basically come and, dispel mis and disinformation. But their version of dispelling mis and disinformation is telling Canadians that they're the R slur, that they should unalive themselves because they're voting Conservative. And I can always tell it's a bot because they say PP. That's number one, how I can tell. And number two, it's just so wild because there are people who have dedicated themselves to watching my stuff and commenting, and they are anonymous. And some of them have come around to not being horrendously rude to me anymore. And they actually, they're kind of nice now, which means I planted a seed. But I didn't realize for about a year, but the same people I would keep blocking would come back with just slightly different names. And some weird things started happening to me. Like one time, I would say my biggest bot attack and my first bot attack was when I came out about the CRA they said we got overpaid, and we did. We didn't notice because we had a loan in our bank, so it was a pretty high loan to do renovations. And so when like $400 was dropped in there with the government, we didn't really notice. And I know that's horrible because I can't imagine not noticing $400 being put into my bank account now, but I digress. And then they added interest. It was 2 payments of $400 like once a month, and then they added interest. And when it was 2023, they took it off our taxes and it was like $3,000. And I was really upset about it because why wouldn't they catch it the year before? There was just so many things that was so weird about it, but we were glad that it was over with and we took the hit and just moved along. And you guys know that they've come back and said that we owe $22,000 now. So when I mentioned that for the first time, that's when I got my first attack. And I could not believe how mean people were. These are the same people who would say like, oh, we should have social programs. Pierre Poilievre's going to take them away. But you shouldn't have taken from those if you blah, 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 if you didn't need to. Well, I did need to because I'm telling you guys, I had 3 young kids. Their daycares and schools were closed. I'm not sure what else we would do. So anyway, just really inhumane things that these bots would say. So yeah, gladly if the one day that I find out that this was their plan on dispelling mis and disinformation, I will personally run for office and make sure that they're held accountable, because the amount of people that stop speaking out because they think that these bots are real, I'm pretty sure that the attack on Elevate Podcast was like on Reg and Elevate Podcast wasn't a real thing. I think it was actually just bots, but I digress. Let's get into some of the reasons why I'm voting for Pierre Poilievre, since the PPC also acts like liberals and says that the CPC hasn't done anything for the last 3 years. Well, that's just not true. Number one, Pierre Poilievre actually listens to real life Canadians. He told Jasmine Lane that he listens to her podcast. He told the pleb that he listens to his podcast and knows who he is. I guarantee that if some of other of us have met Pierre Poilievre, he would say the same thing. Maybe not me, because I don't know if the Conservatives go on TikTok at all and know what's being said over there, but I have a feeling that Pierre Poilievre actually does care about Canadians, number one. Number two, if I was going to have a one-issue vote, since, the left loves to have the Schmushmorshman issue as their one-issue vote, which is so ironic because that's a pro-choice issue for them, but my one-issue vote would be an anti-mandate bill that Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives tried to put through that the NDP got down, okay? I would also say, why? Because first of all, we have so many doctors still that don't have a job because the unions can just do these things. I have no idea why Doug Ford or any other province hasn't stopped these mandates from happening, but a federal-wide anti-mandate bill would have made sure so many Canadians would have had health care or more of a chance at health care 2.5 years ago. Okay? So the anti-mandate bill is my number one reason why I'm voting for Pierre Poilievre. Okay? And let's get into the other reasons, okay? Repeal 69, C69. Obviously, you guys know that we need energy, okay? Denmark and Switzerland, all of these countries that the left applauses for being socialist. Okay, well, they also export their natural resources, okay, you guys, to make sure that their lifestyle stays afloat. Anyways, I really hope that Pierre Poilievre, he's talked about being woke, and I watched this clip of him talking about equality versus what we have now, and that's exactly it. We need equality. We had all of these programs to ensure people like me who have disabilities and single moms had the chance that if they wanted to, they could grab life by the balls and go and do anything that they wanted to do, okay? Because there was programs in place for people like me to be able to have a helping hand to get ahead, okay? We know that the Liberals have made everybody a perpetual victim, and it's just not the way to go. Jennifer L. always talks about this, how passionate she is about it, and it's absolutely true. We create our own destiny, okay? It's important to know that where we come from affects us, absolutely. But if we are able to have access to these things, which we did, okay, which we did before Trudeau, life is a lot better for us, and people like me can get ahead in life. So I'm just saying, in my experience, a good economy makes sure that everybody can get ahead. And that includes women who are leaving abusive situations. And that includes, people with disabilities, single moms. So many of us could get ahead. And I know so many people aren't going to talk about that, okay? But they know. They know. So many women were affected by the 2 double shot clot shot, and so many women talk to me in my inbox and tell me that they know what I am saying is true, but they can't come out and say it because they're afraid of losing business or losing their job. And their union protected job. Yeah, okay. He wants companies to reinvest in Canada, and if they do that, they get a tax break. That's amazing. Okay, Chai. That's my cat. If it's not the cats, it's the kids. Am I right? I love them. I think most of us remember a Canada where, we could all afford a house and go to a gay pride parade, and we all weren't raging racists, okay? I don't know about other provinces, but in my province in Ontario, we learned in the 6th grade that people were black because they lived closer to the equator, and people were more white if they lived farther away from the equator. Okay, and that solved the racism problem for my generation. Now, what they do is they take kids to parades and force the white kids to wear colonizer shirts. You can't make that shit up, you guys. And when you got to high school, I'm pretty sure 2 years after I left, there was a gay straight alliance club. That's all you need. And believe me, all of the LGBT kids, they gather anyways, okay? They find each other, all right? The more that we put a spotlight on this stuff, the more that we talk about it, it is obviously creating division. The more that we force this upon people, the more people are getting annoyed by it, and I don't blame them. We didn't care about these things before, and Justin Trudeau comes in, convinces us that we're racist despite him doing blackface, and disrupts the whole entire identity and social being of Canada as a whole. I'm just ready to get back to a Canada where everybody can succeed no matter where they come from. And in my own experience, my life experience, as the left would like to say, I could do that under Harper. Okay? So that's my video today. I hope you guys stayed for the whole thing. If you did, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And bye! Oh, also, repeal C11 so I can actually have a business. Thank you guys. Oh my goodness.